Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Songbirds Creations, Crochet, and More. My name is Margaret, and I'd like to welcome you into the Songbird's Nest. How's everybody doing this morning? Okay, so good morning, Lana. Good morning, Twinny. How are you doing? Yep, that box of yarn is actually, that box of yarn has become a stool because it's actually more like 3 or 4 boxes of yarn in a stack. So either you can share your boxes with somebody else or you have a nice tall yarn seat to sit on, Marianne. Good morning, Tank. Take your time, do whatever you need to do. Welcome in. So how are you guys doing this morning? I'm doing good. I got up at a decent time, jumped in the shower, and I was watching a rather interesting video and looked at the clock on my phone and realized it was 9:15, and I had not turned on my computer or set up my live stream. And then Lana messaged me and asked me if I was coming on, and I was like, yeah. Getting it set up now. Good morning, Beth. How are you today? Hey, Cammie. How are you feeling, sweetie? Doing any better? So I am crocheting the sleeves on this top I'm making. Kind of the same, but with pink hair. Well, hey, pink hair. I mean, that ought to be a pick-me-up. Lana, thank you for getting back up to come hang out with me. I know I'm early for you. You did it in the middle of the night. I need to do mine. Mine is really faded. It's time to redo it. Awesome. Can't wait to see it, Cammie. I am wonderful. I have no complaints except for one, the weather. The weather is going to be absolutely insane here today. Yeah, right? Naked baby day. Our weather today is going to be as bipolar as it can get. Good morning, Nifty. Good to see you. It's supposed to start out, it's cold right now. It's in, well, it's in the 40s, so it's not too cold, but it's cold. And it's supposed to get up to a high of 68. Okay, that's wonderful. But by this evening, we have a cold front moving in, which is initially going to cause possibly severe thunderstorms. Then it's supposed to drop down really cold, and we're supposed to get snow all night, all day tomorrow, and possibly even into Tuesday. No, I'm over this crap. It's time for spring, damn it. Good morning, Amber. Yeah, I know it may not have turned yet for you, but it's probably going to. With what ours is supposed to do today. Of course, now most of our snow that we're going to be getting today is going to be lake effect. They're getting the worst part of the storm way up north in Michigan, up in the UP. They're supposed to be getting feet of snow, not inches, feet, like 3 to 4. Crazy. And I mean, I've been seeing pictures posted online where people have actually been able to get up and hit the beach on Lake Superior and go rock hunting. That's pretty unheard of for this early in the year. Usually you can't get to the beach on Lake Superior until May, sometimes June, depending on what the how cold it is, how long it takes for everything to melt. Yeah, Amber, I'm not sure. We could end up with about 5, I think. Like I said, I'm just over it. I'm really ready for springtime, warm weather, no more snow. But I know I live in kind of the northern Midwest, and we could get snow anytime up until April or May, and if it's a really bad year, even June. So high of 82. Oh, Grammy Rita, I'm so jealous. I am working on a top. This is just the top part of the top. So I love this yarn. This is some that I got from Ice. And I'm working on the sleeves right now. Once I'm done with the sleeves, I'm going to go ahead and seam it up, and then I'm going to crochet the bottom part, which is going to be mesh just like this part. So this is some of my last yarn that I ordered from Ice Yarns. And it's their anti-pilling magic. And it reminds me a lot of Caron Simply Soft, the way that it feels and the way that it works up and the way that it looks. It's kind of got that shine to it a little bit like the Caron Simply Soft has. So yeah, I really like this. Yeah, it has a square neckline. So that's what the neckline looks like. Yeah, this is definitely a beautiful one. I saw the colorway on their site and was like, oh my God, that's this yarn with these colors in it has been my obsession for a while now. So yeah. Camille had hand dyed a yarn with the sunrise or sunset colors in it a while back. She didn't sell any of it. It was a gift for somebody, and it was so gorgeous. And everybody told her she had to recreate that yarn because everybody wants some. Good morning, Melissa G. How you doing today? Weird, not so many problems with my camera this morning. What's up with that? I have not seen my hubby or the dog yet this morning. I think he's sleeping in. He's usually up and around and a lot of times gone by now. He gets up early and takes the dog out. Well, Cammy, sometimes that's a good place for them to be. Playing games till 5. Oh my goodness. Well, then he needs to be asleep still. Okay. I like that poncho you're doing, Marianne. It's looking good. I've got, let me see, 5 more rows to do, 5 more of the double crochet rows to do on this sleeve. And then I will be sewing it up. But I'm working from a little tiny ball, so I know I'm gonna run out of yarn before I run out of sleeve. Well, you know, Marianne, nothing wrong with funky. Funky can be fun. You never know, you might just have a day where you're in that kind of mood, and it'll be the perfect thing to wear. Well, thank you, Melissa. I was pretty happy with it. I'm working on another one. Working with shawl and a cake, although it's actually, right now it's shawl and a ball because I had started another shawl with it and decided I didn't like where it was going, so I frogged it, and I have this ball of yarn about this big around. I think it's probably 2 cakes of yarn. So, so I'm working from that right now, and I'll see. I don't know how big I'm going to make this one a little bigger than the last one I made. So we'll see how much of the yarn I use up. I really wouldn't mind if I went ahead and used it all. You're working on your Shalina now, Cammie? Darn hiccups. I'm glad you got your Crochet back and were able to pick it back up, sweetie. I hate losing my Crochet. Luckily, I have not lost my Crochet in quite a while. The last time I lost my Crochet, it was for like an extended period of time. It was like a year and a half, and I just did not have any desire. Oh, Cammie, you're not bad. We all lose our Crochet, believe me. It happens. And it happens for a lot of different reasons, so don't feel like you're... Okay. Um, the last time I lost mine, it just felt like every time I picked up something to crochet, it just felt like it was work. And when one of my favorite things that I do becomes work, it's no longer fun to do. A year and a half, yes, that was a long time. And what brought it back was during COVID. Well, I always am downloading patterns. So I have a backlog of patterns that I've downloaded. I could not buy another pattern for the rest of my life. I've got so many patterns. But of course, we all know, just like yarn, I'm going to get more patterns. That's always going to happen. But I had downloaded this pattern and really didn't have the yarn to make it. But during the beginning of COVID, this lady on Facebook was selling a lot of her yarn because she had been laid off work due to the shutdowns, and um, she needed money to pay her bills. And I felt absolutely horrible for her because, I know how I would feel if I had to start selling my yarn to pay my bills. I would not be a happy camper. I'm sure she wasn't. But she had some skeins of what now they call Sultan. It's the big cakes that hubby sells. And it was rainbow. And I know you guys have all seen my rainbow mystery tunic. That was the pattern that I had. And I saw that yarn and I was like, oh, that would be perfect. So I bought that yarn from her. She had 3 cakes of it, and I bought it from her. And I got my Crochet back. I started making that tunic, and I ended up having to buy 2 more cakes of the yarn because I wanted to do some color controlling on the sleeves and kind of have it match the top. So I worked through the 3 cakes I had to make the body of the tunic, and then got the two cakes to make the sleeves the way I wanted. And I still have some left. I didn't need all of it to make the tunic, but that was one of my favorite makes. That was back in, well, I guess it would have been 2021-ish when I made that. And I haven't lost my Crochet again since. So, yeah. I've had to take breaks from crocheting a time or two here or there because I would crochet too much at a stretch and my body would be unhappy with me. Like my blanket, I had to put my blanket down for a little bit because my shoulder joint up here was getting really sore. And I think it was from moving that heavy blanket around so much. So I guess I have to work on it shorter stints rather than hours at a time. It's hard to believe just how heavy a queen size blanket, crocheted blanket, can end up being. But yeah, it's heavy. Although Linda from Linda's Crochet channel, somebody else was commenting about having trouble moving their blanket around to turn it because it was so heavy. And she said what she does is puts her blanket in a laundry basket in front of her, and when she needs to turn it, Hi, Linda. I was just talking about your solution for turning a blanket. Um, so when she needs to turn it, she just turns the entire basket rather than trying to lift the whole blanket and turn it around. And that is such an ingenious idea. It was like, I mean, everybody should do it that way. Yes. Oh my gosh. 6'2" blanket and single crochet and bobbles. Holy moly, Melissa. That would that would be a workout. You'd have some guns when you were done with that. Yes, also keeps it off the floor, which is also a good thing. Especially in my house with me having a Siberian Husky that sheds enough fur to build another dog. Keeping something off the floor is always a good plan. I have a really nice um, work basket that I bought at a flea market. We have a flea market up in a little town called Shipshewana. It's mostly an Amish town. However, the flea market is not an Amish flea market predominantly. I mean, there are a lot of Amish booths there, but um, it's no longer a predominantly Amish market. But it is a lot of fun. It's absolutely huge. They open, I think their first day for the season starts on Memorial Day weekend. And um, it's huge, it's crowded, um, but it is a lot of fun to go walk around. And the last time my sister and brother-in-law were here from Scotland, um, we went up there to Shipshewana, and I bought this really cool work basket. Um, it's probably like 2 feet long by 1 feet wide and has nice big handles um, and pockets all over the place. I just love it. So I need to get that emptied out so that I can use it to hold my blankets. So what is everybody else working on? I know Cammie's working on her Shalina again. Yay. And welcome back, Cammie. Glad you got your meds. Shipshewana on the road. Yeah, actually, I think Shipshewana on the road is going to be here pretty soon too. I listen to NPR radio a lot when I'm in the car, and I heard an ad for it the other day. But I really do prefer to drive up there, even though the traffic is insane. Unless you go up there like right when they first opened in the morning, the traffic is absolutely insane, and parking is a monster because if you don't get there super early, you end up parking half a mile away from the flea market. But on a baby pink shell stitch blanket, oh, that's going to be pretty nifty. A purple poncho, yeah. Yeah, um, As long as I get there early enough in the day, Linda, I don't mind. But as soon as it starts getting really crowded, which is usually by about 11 o'clock, noon, it's time to head home. Um, I don't want anything to do with the crowds. I'm kind of that way about pretty much anything. We do the same thing when we go to the lake. We always go up to the lake we get there usually as soon as they open the gate, and sometimes we're there in line before they open the gate um, to get into the lake. And we stay normally no longer than noon. Once the dog beach starts filling up with people, we're headed out. Um, yeah. And we normally go to the dog beach because the dog beach has less people typically than what the regular beach has. But, you know, about noon, it even starts filling up. So that's when we start heading for the car. Plus, I get sunburned. I mean, I do tan, but I do get sunburned. And staying at the beach any longer than noon, um, I'm going to end up being a crispy critters. So what's nice about going as early as we do, where we like to go, the dunes kind of block the sunlight as the sun's coming up. So we can sit in front of one of the dunes on the beach and have enough shade for a couple of hours to where, we're not in direct sunlight right away. And then by 11 o'clock or so, it's coming over to where I can get a little bit of exposure, say for an hour or so. And yeah, I'm in Eastern. Yep. I'm in South Bend, Indiana. So yes, I'm in the Eastern time. But one thing about me is I do start getting little bits of sun exposure fairly early in the spring, because as soon as spring hits, I'm out working in my garden, and I wear a tank top or something like that, and that way I'm getting a little bit of sun exposure without overdoing it. Although I have been known to sit out at my picnic table and crochet and get a little sunburn doing that. I've done that a couple of times last year. Good morning, Grandma Cindy. Welcome in. Are you new here? I don't think I've ever seen you. Well, welcome to South Bend. Oh, tank. That's terrible. We had some leaks going on. I had told my husband um, several months ago that our basement toilet was leaking. And he just kind of shrugged it off like he didn't believe me, or I don't know. But then we started having trouble with our upstairs bathroom. And, oh, okay. Well, thank you for stopping in again. It's good to see you. Please subscribe if you haven't. I always, enjoy having new folks coming in and hanging out. And I don't mind our lurkers. Our lurkers are good folks too. So, I hope that everybody that is here will go ahead and leave me a thumbie. I don't have channel monetization yet. Not really working that hard towards getting it, but you know, I do like to be pushed out in the algorithm a little bit so that, you know, I can get more viewers. And here lately, it seems like I must be getting out in the algorithm a little more because I've been getting comments on my videos from people that I don't recognize. I mean, I have you folks that are my ride or die group that kind of are here every time, but I've been seeing new folks lately, and I like that. Maybe it's just that I'm being a little bit more consistent about putting out my lives and stuff, and haven't been real consistent about putting any other content out, but I'll get to that. Lana, you want to, Grandma Cindy, do you have a channel? Shorts will gain new subs. Well, yes, Lana, I have been busy. I will have to say that. I've been, you subscribe to everyone. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, everybody that has a Facebook, YouTube account has a channel technically. It's just what you choose to do with it. I had lots of folks. Well, let's put it this way. My husband had been after me probably for about 2 years before I ever started my channel. He kept telling me I needed to start a YouTube channel. And I was like, no, I don't want to deal with all that. And he kept bugging me. Well, finally he stopped bugging me. But then a lot of other people were saying, Margaret, you really need to start a YouTube channel. So finally, between my husband and everybody else prodding me to do it, I went ahead and started a channel. Ooh, she's got a stitch that you haven't seen. I'm going to have to check that out. So let me go ahead and subscribe. I will have to check that out later on. Oh, run. I bet my brother is a member of that channel. My brother is a big time foamer. So, yeah, if you have a channel you work with running remote train cams, I bet my brother watches it. Pretty much everything my brother does in his spare time is related to railroads in one way or another. Yeah, I get a lot of older shorts from people that I'm subscribed to. It's kind of funny because sometimes I've already seen them and it's like, okay, why am I getting this in my algorithm again? But my brother loves to come down here and go to Elkhart. he is just fascinated with the train yard over in Elkhart. So, and we've gone to the train museum over there a couple of times. So, well, Cammie, sweetie, if you're sleepy, go ahead and get some sleep. It's Sunday. It's not like there's anything pressing to do. And you know, here lately I've been finding that crocheting a lot is making me sleepy too. I'll crochet for an hour or two, and then all of a sudden I just find myself nodding off over whatever project I'm working on. So yeah, I totally get the getting sleepy part. Oh, you need to study? Well, study for a little while because yep. Study for a little while and then go take a nap, because studying right before you sleep is really good to help your retention. Oh, no. I hope that doesn't mean I'm going to be getting one soon. Also, studying with some lo-fi music on will help too. Um, just ask a question for a possible project on Discord. Okay, let's take a look. See what you got going on, Marianne. Oh, good grief. Had my app open for my local grocery store, looking at what their sales are this week. Okay. Wrong. Okay, want to make something with a reflective yarn, considering one of her pixie or fairy hats, or may just do a walker, joggers, beanie, and scarf. Yeah, I kind of agree with the walker slash jogger beanie. I think that reflective yarn is great for making those. Well, of course, Grandma Cindy. Like I said, we enjoy having everybody. One thing nice about my channel, I don't know why, and I probably shouldn't jinx myself by saying this, but I don't seem to get a lot of trolls on my channel. So, of course, I don't do vertical lives usually, and that kind of helps keep the trolls away. But it is nice to not really have trolls show up. Plus, I have two really good mods, and they take care of that problem whenever there is one. I just washed my hair this morning and it's cold on my neck because it's still wet. Oh, I get you, Lana. I don't love verticals, but I have gotten used to them because Camille does a lot of vertical lives. So yeah, I have gotten used to doing, dealing with them. Um, and being a mod on her channel, I kind of have to get used to dealing with them. I'm almost to the end of my ball of yarn here. Three more rows. Yeah, I prefer the horizontal too, especially when it's, when it's my own live. I do like doing the horizontal. For one thing, it's easier for me to read the chat. So Elizabeth, I am going to check and see how close storms are getting to me, since you've already got one. You can't count? Oh, I know that feeling. When I was doing the Shalina, I kind of figured out that I really didn't need to count every section of every row. I kind of, as long as I skipped my 2 at the valley and increased where I needed to increase at the point, I kind of just went on faith that I had the right number in the row. And so usually I would maybe count at the beginning just to kind of get it set up in my brain how many stitches I needed in each section. And then I would just count the 1 at the beginning and then maybe 1 more towards the middle, just to make sure I was keeping up with the right number. But what I found is interesting about the Shalina is you don't have to count down the side of your shawl or, count the rows. If you have the right amount of stitches in your row, if you just count a section, or even just, like from a valley up to a peak, if you count from a valley up to a peak and double that, that's going to give you how many stitches you've got in that section, and that will tell you what row you're on. So like if you count from a valley to the point and you get 23 stitches, doubled that is 46 stitches. That would mean that your even row is 46. So that's a real easy way to keep up with what row you're on. Good morning, Gloria. How are you doing today? Are you blooming? All right, so where's the storms? Oh, okay. Looks like storms west of me, or east of me, and west of me. So looks like it's going to be a while before I see anything. Ooh, but it's getting bigger the further east it comes. That's nice. The stacked singles, yeah, I like stacked singles too. I am doing really well, Gloria. I'm feeling really good. Um, Amazingly enough, I'm not really too achy this morning, so I cannot complain. I watched a really interesting video yesterday that was explaining the physics behind why our bodies ache when the weather is changing. And I thought that was really, really interesting. Um, Kind of told me why your joints ache and why people will start getting a migraine headache. Well, it's actually low pressure that causes it. So when a storm is coming in, because storms are usually um, low pressure systems, and so when on a really nice, you know, clear day, high pressure system, our bodies are equalized that the pressure coming from the outside of our body is equalized by the pressure from the inside of our body. And typically, you're not going to be as achy. When the pressure is low, that means there's less pressure on the outside of your body, but more pressure coming, because it's unequal. There'd be more pressure pressing outwards on your tissues of your body. And so that's what starts causing pain, is because, like your joints, the fluids in your joints will start expanding, and the nerves around that joint will start picking up the fact that, you've got that pressure pressing outwards and expanding, and will ache. And the same thing with your sinuses, because your sinuses are more or less a closed system. So when the pressure is equal, your sinuses won't hurt. But when there's low pressure on the outside, the pressure on your sinuses is going to be pushing outwards, and that's what will give you a sinus headache or a migraine. So I thought that was really interesting. I mean, it just makes a lot of sense, but exactly, Tank. I never put it down to laws of physics that actually, tell us that that's how our bodies work. Well, Melissa, part of that is because I watch a whole lot of YouTube, and I watch a lot of different stuff about a lot of different stuff. I I learned so much from watching just crazy YouTube videos, I really don't watch that many crochet videos. I watch YouTube kind of like YouTube is my replacement for TV. And when something catches my eye, oops, I just came to the end of my yarn. When I can find something that catches my eye that's, you know, going to be educational, I love watching just crazy odds and ends via videos. About the only time I really watch crochet videos is to learn a new stitch or to get inspiration to make something. Not that I need that much inspiration. Usually I always have ideas floating around in my head for things I want to make, but oh, come on. Well, I guess I'm going to work from the outside of this one because I can't find the center pole. I hate taking the band off these skeins because they get so loose and floppy. But it is what it is. Reduced air pressure can lead to an imbalance in sinus pressure, causing headaches, as noted by Kaplan Sinus Relief. It may also decrease oxygen flow to the brain, triggering migraines. Yep. That is the process behind it. You slept? Well, you're back awake awfully quick. You didn't sleep long. For a second. Power nap, Cammie, power nap. That's what they call those, power naps. They say that if you can get in a 15-minute power nap, it can be just as good for you as laying down and sleeping for hours. You thrifted a new old book. Oh, cool. Fun. You know, it's so weird. I don't buy print books much anymore. I do so much with my Kindle these days that I have a lot of books. I mean, I have a huge collection of books that I've had for years, but here lately, I mean, I have bought a couple of crochet books in the last couple of years, but here lately, I do everything on my Kindle, and I have even bought some crochet books on my Kindle. I have been lucky enough that people have bought me books for my birthday and stuff, and that's been really nice. Because I do enjoy books, and for a while, when I first got my Kindle, for a little while, I was really resistant to reading books on the Kindle. I mean, I do enjoy a book. I enjoy the smell of a book and the tactile feel of the pages. But books have gotten so expensive anymore that it's almost impossible to keep up. And I read so much, I read so fast that I can go through a book in a day. So, I can't afford to go buy new books every day. I mean, a lot of times I will pick up a book, like if I'm at the Goodwill or something, and I see a book that catches my eye. I might pick up a book there, but I haven't even done that. I haven't even been to Goodwill in probably about a year. So Goodwill even started getting crazy expensive on stuff. Not so much books, but clothes and stuff like that. Um, but I use Amazon Prime because I do a lot of deliveries through a Prime, and so I have the Kindle Unlimited, and I can get a lot of free books and different stuff like that through my Kindle Unlimited. So yeah, I've got a lot of hardcover books downstairs. I've got the way my basement is set up. Um, there's one part of my basement that we've kind of finished off. Well, it was finished off to be my yarn studio. Um, so I actually moved the books that were in there, but I've got an electric fireplace right in the center of the end wall of that room, and then to either side of that were built-in bookshelves. Um, and I had those bookshelves filled up with lots of hardcover books. When I started my yarn studio down there, I took out the books from the one shelf. In the front part of the basement, I have a big, long, low bookcase, and I sorted the books in that bookcase out and got a lot of the paperback books that I wanted to get rid of. I bagged up to donate, and I moved all my hardcover books over there. So a lot of my hardcover books are my cookbooks. Um, Kind of interesting thing about my cookbooks. My mom, when I was growing up, my mom had a cookbook. That's cool, Cammie. My mom had a cookbook that it's about yay thick, and it has a dark orange cover. It's called the Culinary Arts Institute Cookbook. And it is a really, really good cookbook. I mean, it covers everything. And when my mom moved in with me, when she moved from Michigan to Illinois to live with me, she brought her copy of the Culinary Arts Cookbook. Well, for some reason, she got rid of a lot of stuff when she moved in with me because, I mean, we had 2 households worth of stuff crammed into a little 2-bedroom apartment. So she got rid of a lot of cookbooks and stuff. And for some reason, she thought it was a good idea to get rid of that Culinary Arts Cookbook. I about hit the ceiling. And so we were out at a thrift store one day and happened to run across a copy of that cookbook. And you better believe I jumped all over it. So yeah, now I have another copy of probably the same age as the one my mom got rid of. What part of Illinois, Gloria? I lived down in Peru, Illinois for a little while, and then I moved up to Highland Park for a little while, and then I moved into Chicago for a little while. And then I moved into the southwest suburbs. You're in Chicago? Okay. Yeah, I used to live down off of Devon Avenue in Chicago. I absolutely loved it down there. I lived on. Is Phoebe here? Baby, good morning. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear baby. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Okay, Gloria. Yep, I lived on Campbell Avenue and I lived about 2 apartment buildings down from the corner of Campbell and Devon Avenue. So I loved living in that area. They took your cookbooks to the dump? Oh no. Oh no. I think, oh, I would have hit the roof. Yeah, I used to live over in Justice, Gloria. Um, Basically, it was Little Palestine. I enjoyed it. Feliz cumpleaños, que tú tengas un día glorioso. Yes, I agree, Cami. Yep, not too far from Chicago Ridge. Exactly. Good morning, Breezy. Well, you guys, I hate to. Oh, good morning, Tammy. I didn't see you come in either. Um, I hate to wish baby a happy birthday and run, but I've been here for an hour and I need to get some things done. Um, about the only thing I ever went to Chicago Ridge for, well, every now and then I would take my mom over there for lunch and we'd go to the movies over there sometimes. More often, though, we were going out to Hollywood for dinner and movies out there. But yeah. So, everybody, thank you so, so much for being here this morning. I really appreciate you all. Once again, baby, I hope you have absolutely fabulous day. Oh yeah, my mom and I used to go to Red Lobster quite a bit over at Chicago Ridge. Yep, that was one of her favorite restaurants. That's where she usually wanted to go for her birthday. Um, so I am going to take off and get on with my day, let you all get on with your days. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Do the things you love, be with the people you love, and I will see you again next Saturday. And I may try to squeeze in a pop-up live sometime earlier in the week. We'll see. So, hugs, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and take care until I see you again. Bye-bye.